It was from here that I ventured out into Kington, playing at a small restaurant there called Penrose Court with a band I had formed. Call it a band, it was a cello and harpsichord, a couple of recorders, playing early English music. Somebody said to me one day, you know, it would sound good with a guitar in this, wouldn't it? And I thought, yeah, it would sound very nice with a guitar. But I actually know somebody who plays the guitar. And he mentioned the name of this guy who lived on the hill, very close to Penrose. I'd never heard of him. And he said his name is Mike Oldfield. So one day I gave him a ring and said, would you like to come and play in my band? He said, what sort of band is that? I said, it's early music. He knew nothing about early music, and he said, well, come up and see me, so to speak. Bring an instrument. So I took a couple of instruments. I think I took a hurdy-gurdy and a recorder. The little group sort of filtered away and left just him and me. And we played for our suppers, as it were. Sometimes 3 nights a week, more often a couple of nights a week. And it was a riot, an absolute riot. And I just made a fool of myself most of the time. I walked among the diners singing made-up French. I'm not going to give an example of it because it's too ridiculous, but I'd had a sufficiency of wine to enable me to do this at the time, while Michael sat there fiddling, I think. I will never forget the one Sunday, I believe it was, near Christmas. We'd just recorded In Dulce Jubilo, the first version of it, at the studio in Kington. And it came on the radio, which was a speaker just above us, and we heard the announcement, and then there was nothing coming out of the speaker at all. Gradually, it got louder and louder, and it became apparent that was a bad mix. It wasn't something that the BBC had done at all. It was what we had done, or Mike had done. So that it disappeared without trace, really. I mean, nobody heard it, and nobody liked it in particular. So it came out next year, the following year. And of course, it was a success. But on Cuckoo Song, I managed to get Mike Oldfield with Les Penning, which is fair enough, but it was a flop. I've been making an album for some time now with Phil Bates and latterly with Mr. Reed, Rob Reed. It should be his album actually, because he's done much more work on it than I have. Anyway, the original album was going to be entirely different to this. Not an album of past deeds at all. And it was, well, I was going to call it And the Stones Feel Warm in Belerion. They do, I assure you. They're not just warm, they're red. No, that's going too far. They do. Belerion is an old name for West Penwith in Cornwall, the area around St. Belerion. And I was there one winter, walking towards the well at Sancreed, and there were these ancient stones. It was a cold day, and I steadied myself on one of these stones, and the wretched thing was warm. And I said, I'm going to this sacred well, bedecked with ribbons grass and sparkling dark water, and the stones felt warm in Belerion.